everybody. We are going to do a core focused yoga class today. It's going to be pretty flowy and it's going to work on moving the spine in all different directions. So hopefully that's going to feel really good for you. Okay, so we are going to start at the top of the mat and you're just going to put your feet a comfortable hip distance apart. And you want to have the center line of your foot to be parallel to each other. So your feet shouldn't be turned out or turned in. They're just really central. So we're going to stand and we're going to start to sway a little bit to feel the four corners of the feet. So I'm going to feel the outside edges of the feet. I'm going to feel the weight go into the balls of the feet versus the heels. And I'm just going to try to move the weight around until I can settle so that I'm even outside and inside, front and back. And then I'm going to think about slowly reaching my tailbone slightly down between my heels, which should activate a little bit of this low belly. I'm going to roll my shoulders back and down. I'm going to reach the crown of my head high, long back of the neck. And then I'm going to place my right hand on my low belly. And I'm going to inhale into my low belly. And exhale, the belly will pull in to squeeze out the air. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, squeeze it out. Keep going like this, belly breathing. Now we're going to add another piece. Bring your left hand to the side of your rib cage. You're going to inhale, fill the belly with breath. And then inhale more so the ribs expand out to the sides. As you exhale, ribs pull in first, then belly pulls in. Inhale, belly, then ribs. Exhale, ribs, then belly. Inhale, belly, then ribs. Exhale, ribs, then belly. Keep going like that. Now we're going to add the third and final piece. You're going to inhale, belly, then ribs, and then sip in a little bit more air to lift the collarbones. Exhale, collarbones fall, ribs pull in, belly pulls in. Filling from bottom to top. Inhale, belly, ribs, collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, ribs, belly. If it helps to keep your hands on your body, you can. If you'd rather release them, but try this 3-part breath for a few more rounds. Filling the air from the bottom to the top on your inhale and pouring it out top to bottom on the exhale. Now we're going to start to add some spinal movement to our breath. We're going to think of our arms kind of like wings. And as we inhale, we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together on our back and make a big arch in our back. Fill all the way up to the collarbones, and then as we exhale, we're going to round the back and curl in and press our palms together, pushing between the shoulder blades away from us. Inhale, arch the back, create a big curve in the spine. Exhale, we call this hollowing out, rounding the back, pushing the palms together. A few more times. Inhale, expand, open. Exhale, close, hollow, round. One more. Exhale. Inhale, we're going to reach the arms up. And then exhale, arch your back, bend your knees, swan dive. We're going to do 3 halfway lifts. So on your inhale, think belly, ribs, collarbones, straighten out your spine, extend your head forward. And then exhale, collarbone, ribs, belly as you fold. Inhale, grow your spine long in that halfway lift. And exhale, roll one vertebra at a time down. One more time. We're going to move into some sun salutations, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Gentle cobra. Downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet here, warming up the backs of the legs a little bit more than in our halfway lift. Spread the fingers on the palms, all the way into the mat. One more big breath. Make your way to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Now reverse your swan dive. Arc your back up. Reach up, look up. Pull it in, a little bit of hollow. Arms go down. Start to create that arch in your back. Inhale up. Swan dive, stick your butt out, bend your knees. Roll down. Halfway lift, extend the spine. Plant your hands, use the other foot to step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Curl it up, cobra. Downward facing dog. Breathe here. One more breath. Make your way to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold it in. And then halfway lift, lift your arms, look up, come up, touch palms. Pull it in, hollow out the spine. Hands go down, out, make the arch, reach up, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift, step back plank, lower down chaturanga, cobra, Down dog. Making your way to the top of your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And hollow it out as you bring your hands to heart center and drop it down. We're going to reach the arms up and you're going to grab your right elbow with your left hand, making a little square around your head. My right arm is up and my thumb is pointing back behind me, pinky pointing forward. I'm going to reach my tailbone down. I'm going to pull my ribs in and I'm going to think about growing tall. I'm going to bump my hips to the right and lengthen my spine up and over to the left. So I'm not crunching and collapsing in the left side. Instead, I'm thinking about stretching up and over as if I had a beach ball to arc over. The weight has to go to the right to counterbalance your head going to the left. And then look up a little bit under your armpit, so twist a little bit open. And then let's release the arms. We'll do our other side. Reach them up. Right arm grabs left elbow, making a little box around your head. My thumb points back on the left hand and my pinky finger points forward. I'm going to bump my hips to the left, get the weight over there, and then stretch up and over to the right with length on both sides of the body and a little twist up to the ceiling. And release. We're going to swan dive. Let's take a halfway lift, extend. Big step back with the left foot to a lunge. And we're just going to sink the hips down and straighten the front leg back and forth. Let's do one more. All right, we're going to come on up, so make your legs strong, and we're going to play with the arch and hollow here. So as we sink into our crescent, we're going to think about inhaling and arching the back with a straight back leg, and then as we hollow, we're going to bend the back knee and pull the elbows in by our sides. Inhale, reach up, straighten the back leg, arch. Exhale, hollow, bend the back knee, tuck the hips under. Inhale, arch, reach up and back. Exhale, elbows in, hollow. And reach up one more time. Hands come down, step back, plank, chaturanga. Cobra, down dog. Stepping the left foot forward, let's just do our sinking into the hips and straightening the front leg. All right, make the leg legs strong so you can come up to your crescent. And then as you inhale, arch the back, straighten the back leg, stretch up, and then tuck your tailbone, bend your back knee, pull in, hollow. Inhale, arch, straighten the back leg. Exhale, hollow, bend the back knee. One more. Reach up, back bend, and then hollow it out. Curve the spine, tuck the tail. Reaching up, hands come down. Vinyasa, plank, chaturanga, cobra, down dog. Making your way to your top of your mat. Big toes touch. Come on up. This time, we're gonna bring the palms together, cross the thumbs. We're gonna do another standing side stretch. So, tailbone reaches down, ribs pull in, get really tall. Squeeze your head with the sides of your arms. Bump the hips to the left, arc over, to the right, so we can stretch to the left. Whatever side you're doing is fine, we'll do the next side. Do that little twist up towards the ceiling with your chest. And let's release the arms in between sides. Bring it up. Cross the thumbs, palms together, get long. Hips go left, arms go right. Squeeze the head with the arms. Do that little twist of the chest up towards the ceiling. And coming up, swan dive. Halfway lift. We're going to step the left foot back to warrior one. So my toes are pointing a little bit forward on the diagonal, and they're not, my foot is not in line with my right foot. If I had my feet together, they would still be about hip distance apart. Deep bend in the right knee. I'm going to come up and I'm going to bring my left hand across my body to my right thigh. I'm going to circle the right arm back and look, and then I'm going to circle it up and get tall. Sweep it down and twist, and follow it with your gaze. Let's do one more like that. Twist, bring that left hip forward, and then try to keep that left hip forward as you bring both arms up. Maybe palms touch, and look at your thumbs. Deep into that right knee. And let's bring it down and take a vinyasa as we take it to the second side. Take a breath in your down dog. And then step your left foot up and spin that back heel down. So you've got that angle in your back foot and your feet are not on a tightrope. There's still some space between them. Keep that left knee bent as you come up. Right hand crosses over. Left arm, let's start with it forward. And then we're going to sweep it down and back and follow it with the gaze. And then bring it up. Trying to pull that right hip forward. It wants to open away, but we want it forward. One more time. Twisting back. And then both arms come up. Palms together. Look at your thumbs. Deepen that front knee. And hands come down, step back plank, chaturanga, cobra, down dog. Make your way to the top of your mat, big toes touch. We're gonna come up to standing. We're gonna do that standing side bend, but this time we're gonna add a balancing component to it. So this time I'm gonna grab my wrist with my left hand, so my palm is gonna face up and reach to my wrist. So I'm gonna reach up, my left hand is gonna grab my right wrist, and I'm gonna get really long and tall, bump my hips to the right, arc over to the left, and then try to reach the outside edge, pinky edge blade of my foot out to the side to kind of float it, and then twist my chest a little bit up to the ceiling. Hips have to go to the right for this to work. Really extend and have energy in your left leg. And release. Let's try the other side. Coming up, my right hand palm goes up to the ceiling, grabbing the inside of my left wrist. Get tall, bump the hips to the left, arms reach over to the right, and then I can float that left foot. My foot is flexed, it's straight, lots of energy, engagement in those muscles. Twist the chest a little bit up to the ceiling. And release, swan dive. Halfway lift. Step back, vinyasa. Plank, chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Let's lift the right leg up behind you. Big step up. Now we're going to warrior two. So this time I want the arch of my back foot to be in line with the heel of my front foot, but my toes are pointing out to the side of that back foot, and I'm going to cartwheel up to my warrior two. We're going to inhale, straighten the leg, and exhale, sink. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep it. Try to get your knee over your ankle. Requires a little rotation in the hip. We're going to bring forearm to thigh, side angle, and then reverse, keeping that front knee bent. We'll go back and forth. Side angle, reverse, side angle, reverse. And hands down, step back, vinyasa to down dog. Left leg up. Step it to warrior two. Spin that back heel in line. Come on up. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. arm down, side angle, reverse. Side angle, reverse. Side angle, reverse. Vinyasa. You can always skip these if you need to, and just go to downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, step it up, and prepare for warrior two in the legs once again. But we're gonna walk the hands over to the left diagonal and do down dog in our upper body and warrior two in our lower body. So I'm reaching my hips away from my hands and trying to lower my chest like in down dog. Deep hip stretch. Keep that knee over the ankle. And then I'm going to walk my hands in. I'm going to turn my right toes forward so both are pointing to the long edge of my mat, and do down dog with my wide legs. So I'm walking my hands forward and making like a down dog here. Reaching my hips away from my hands, dropping my chest. Then I'm going to walk towards my back foot, my left foot. Turn the toes out a little bit and come down to Skandasana. So it's like a squat in the back leg, and then I'm up on the heel of my front leg, getting a stretch in the inner thigh. Now, I have a hard time getting my heel down of this left foot, but if you can, that'll be a better alignment. Now we're going to come to lunge facing the front. I'm on the toes of my back foot. Left hand stays down. Right arm reaches up. Twisting. Try to get your chest closer to the inside of the left knee. And then really squeeze your thighs towards each other like you're closing scissors, and imagine someone's grabbed your top arm and pulls you up to a revolved lunge. So keep the twist in the chest. Strong legs. Reach your right hand for your back leg. Your left arm comes up. Find that arch. Stretch that left front side of the body. And then left hand comes down on the outside edge of the mat. Drop your back knee. Wiggle your right toes over to the right. Sink your hips. Twist back. Catch that back foot. Take a quad stretch. Twist your chest open. I like to do a little hips back to heels. Instead of dropping my hips forward, I get a better stretch that way. All right, bringing the right hand down, stepping back. You can do a little knees, chest, and chin. Slither into your cobra. Take it back down dog. We gotta do the other side. Left leg up. Get ready for your warrior two legs. And then walk your hands out to the diagonal. Down dog in your upper body. Warrior two in your lower body. Reach the hips away from your hands. Keep that left knee on top of the ankle. Don't let it roll in. Feel that hip stretch. So you got parallel feet, and then the hands go forward like down dog with wide legs. And then walking towards the back foot, the right foot, turn the toes out a little bit. Come down into a squat on that leg and come up on the heel so the toes pop up on the left leg. Sink into this skandasana. Feel the inner thigh stretch. Crawl your way to a lunge. Spinning onto the back toes. Right hand down, left arm up, twist. Try to get your chest a little closer to that inner left knee. And then squeeze as if you were trying to close the scissors of your legs and pull up with that left hand to get a twisted lunge. Left hand finds the back leg, right arm reaches up, arch the back, stretch the front right side of the body. And right hand goes to the outside edge of your mat. Drop your back knee, wiggle your left foot to the other outer edge. Sink your hips to twist, and then catch your back foot. And then watch, now I lift my hips back up to meet my heel and open the chest to the ceiling. Nice quad stretch. And release. We're going to come down to our belly. And we're going to prop ourselves up on our forearms. So I want my elbows underneath my shoulders. This is Sphinx pose. So think of the Sphinx in Egypt. Maybe your nose fell off. I don't know. We don't know what happened. So we're going to do that hollow arch that we did at the beginning in this shape. So to start off, pull your chest through your shoulders, pinch your shoulder blades onto your back, drag yourself forward, feel your elbows squeeze back and look up. That's our arch. And then for our hollow, we're going to press down into the front of the pelvis, puff up between the shoulder blades, and my belly comes off the ground. Just my thighs are touching. And then let's lower it down, drag the chest through the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then hollow. Tuck the tail, squeeze the belly, round the spine, and back to our arch. Pull the chest through, shoulders back, and hollow. Let your belly pull away from the mat. One more time. Arch and hollow, hovering a little bit above the mat. All right, we're now going to do a pose that's called Jane Fonda because it is inspired by some of her 80s workout videos. I'm going to roll onto my right side. I'm going to place my left foot behind me so that I can move my hips forward because I want my heel, my hip, my shoulder all in one line. I'm going to place my head in my hand, and I want to flex the bottom foot and really push that pinky toe edge of my foot into the floor. I'm trying to keep myself stacked, hip on top of hip, not rolling back, not rolling forward. And then I'm going to reach for the big toe on my left foot and start to reach it straight up to the ceiling. So it's not going to go over my head. I actually want to push that leg a little bit down towards my bottom foot to have some tension because I don't want to roll forward or back. I'm trying to stay between two panes of glass and not roll forward or back. I have to push into the pinky toe edge of my foot and engage weird stabilization muscles to do it. Oy, let's try the other side. It's so wobbly, but you know, if Jane can do it, I can do it. So I'm gonna roll onto my left side. I've got my foot flexed on the left side and I'm pinky toe edge pushing into the floor. I gotta scoop my hips a little bit forward so that I'm in one line. I'm not folded anywhere. And then I'm gonna start to reach up. I'm trying to keep that top hip stacked on top. And then when I straighten here, I'm not going to my flexibility. I'm actually pulling away with that leg towards my bottom foot so that everything is stacked and it's open between two planes of glass. I don't want my foot to come in front of me or behind me. I want it right on top of my hip. Ooh, it's so wobbly. Oh my goodness. All right, release. Jane Fonda, she's serious business. We're gonna come up to a plank and try to do this plank with your legs all the way together, feet touching, and we're gonna do shoulder taps in our plank. Just 10 of them. So make sure that your legs are squeezing together, shoulders are over the wrists, your tail is tucked under, squeeze everything, and then try to touch your opposite shoulder. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower down onto your belly. Woo! Reach your arms back alongside you. Let's do some locust pose. So I'm going to push the front of my pelvis down into the mat. That tucks my tail and squeezes my glutes. And then I'm going to roll my shoulders back, start to lift legs, chest, and arms. But I still have some tension in my abs. Glutes are squeezing, shoulder blades together. Neck is long, hovering above the ground. And make your way to a child's pose. Big toes touch, knees wide. Reach the hips back. Coming up, we're going to move into side plank. So come into down dog, and we're going to roll onto the outside edge of the right foot, stack the left foot on top, reach the left arm up, and again, don't let your left hip go back too far. Keep it stacked right on top of your bottom hip. I like to do flashlights with my top hand opening and closing the fingers as fast as I can, like a strobe light with my fingers. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked, squeezing the side body. And then we're going to go back behind ourselves, adjust the fingers for Purvottanasana. Reverse plank, squeeze the back side of the body, lift the hips. And then we're going to flip back over to do our left side. So we have left side, stacking the feet, stacking the hips, don't let it rock back. Flashlights with the top fingers. Flick them out, squeeze them in, fast as you can. And coming back, make your way onto your back. We're going to lay down with our arms overhead, backs of the hands pressing into the floor. Reach the legs up, and you want your low back to be flat on the mat, and you want to pull your ribs down like you're doing a little crunch, and that should give a little stretch to your shoulders. Now we're going to try to lower our legs away from our face without the low back popping up. So we're going to keep the entire spine pressing into the mat, ribs down, and only go to the point where you can keep your low back down. If it starts to arch, then that's where you breathe. Pull the back into the floor, ribs down, backs of the hands down. And hug your knees into your chest. So now we're going to do a pretty high energy move. We're going to roll ourselves up, and all in one movement, you're going to roll into a crescent and then sit back down and roll again into your other crescent. And then we're going to try a bakasana. So I'm going to scoop myself back on my mat so I have room. And I want to really roll so my legs go over my head to get myself some momentum. So check this out. I'm going to roll, come up, step my left foot back, crescent, step forward, sit down, roll back, come up, other foot, sit down, roll back, come up, try a bakasana. My feet come up, and then I just sit back down and roll. Crescent. Step forward, sit down, roll. Other side crescent. Step forward, sit down, roll. Come up, bakasana. Roll. One more time. Crescent. Woo! Step forward, roll. Woo! Crescent on the other side. It's just silliness. Bakasana. Woo! And make your way to down dog. Let your heart rate come down. All right, we're gonna do 3 donkey kick tuck jumps, and then we're gonna come to seated. So I'm gonna walk my feet in so I have a shorter dog and I can get my shoulders more over my wrists. And notice that I'm puffing up between my shoulder blades, so I'm more rounded in my spine, a little hollow. And then I'm going to bend my knees and try to kick my butt 3 times. And then I'm going to come down to seated. Legs out in front of me. Pull the flesh away. Flex the feet. Grow tall in your spine. Reach the arms up. Press the backs of the knees down. Get tall and fold. Holding on to whatever you got. Maybe it's your shins, maybe it's the outside edge of the mat. Try to lengthen out of your pelvis. So you're trying to get your spine longer, longer, longer to get your head closer to your feet. You're not rounding to try to get nose to knees here. You want your nose to get way beyond the knees. So pull yourself out. All right, let's roll down onto the back. A little bit more core work. My hands are gonna go up into Charlie's Angels finger guns, and then my legs are gonna come up. And I'm gonna twist, trying to get my left elbow outside my right knee, and I'm gonna lower the opposite leg. So I'm gonna twist to the right, lower the left leg. Come up to center, twist and lower the right leg. Inhale in center, exhale, twist. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. Two more each side. Last one right. Last one left. Hug your knees, release your head. Let's take a bridge pose. So my heels are going to be close to my bum. Feet are pointing forward. Don't let the toes turn out. Place your elbows next to your rib cage with your fingers pointing up like robot arms. Push your elbows so firmly into the mat that your chest comes up and your shoulder blades can tuck onto your back underneath. So I'm arching my back. My tailbone touches the floor and my upper shoulders do, but the rest of my back is arcing away from the floor. Then I press into my legs and lift my hips, and maybe you interlace your fingers underneath, or maybe like me, you're gonna grab the outside edges of the mat and pull a little bit. Squeeze the knees a little bit together to straighten out, parallel those legs. Press the back of your head into the mat to lift your chin a little bit to keep the curve in your neck. And release. We're gonna windshield wiper. I like arms overhead for this. My feet go to the outside edges of the mat, and I'm gonna windshield wiper my knees. So my feet stay in the same place, but my knees are the windshield wipers. Next time you come knees to the left, leave them there. And then pick up your left foot, step on the top of your left thigh, of your right thigh, and then pull with that foot down and away, diagonally away from your right arm. And it's like you're pulling that leg out of the hip socket a little bit. Get a nice stretch. Place that left foot back down, reach the knees up and over to the right. Your right foot steps on top of the left thigh and drags that leg bone, femur bone out of the hip socket, diagonally away from your left shoulder. Okay, we're going to come on up and we're going to talk through some headstand progressions. So if you've never worked on headstand, you can do this so that your back will be close to a wall but not right against the wall. It's just the safety if you don't want to do a somersault. So one question is, where do you place your head? What part of your head should be on the ground? Because we want to keep things straight. We don't want to do a headstand like this or like this. We want to be right on top of each other. So if you place the base of your palm right between your eyebrows, and then you lay your hand down and curl your fingers onto your head, the tip of your middle finger, that's the spot. You want that spot to be on the mat. The next thing you want to think about is you don't want your hands next to your head. You want your hands away from your head so you have a right angle in your arms, and your hands to your head makes a triangle. Because if I took a piece of paper and I tried to stand it up on its side, it wouldn't stand. But if I fold it into a V, then it will stand. So we want to make that V with the point on your head and your two hands. So if I put that same point on the top of my head, if I try to get that down, and then see my hands are too close to my head, I gotta get back. Now I have right angle. And then I gotta get my hips up. So I'm gonna try, beginner step is just to come up like this, and then try to cross my shin on my tricep. And just hang out here. Feel the top of the head down into the mat. Feel the hips lifting up. And just play here. If you're good here, maybe you can reach your hips back so much that your knees can come into your chest. And then you could try to reach your knees up. And then your feet up. And then you could try to reverse it. Heels to butt. Knees into chest, rounding the back. Shins on the triceps. And down. So like I said, if you're worried about somersaulting, you could have a wall so that if you started to somersault, you would quickly bounce against the wall with your back. But you don't want to lean against the wall because you want your body to learn how to hold yourself in that position. So work on that. Let me know how it goes. All right, we're going to do another kind of windshield wiper type of thing, only it's going to take a little bit more work and energy. So I'm going to lay down, I'm just laying down this way so you can see me better, in a capital T with my arms, and I'm going to bring my legs straight up, and then I'm going to lift my hips and move them a little bit over to the left. So just a little whoop, and then see my toes are already pointing to the right. So now I'm going to keep both shoulders down as I reach my feet to my right hand, and then I'm going to pull my left hip down away from my face, making that side body long. And then I'm going to reach my legs up, and I'm going to switch my hips, whoop, And then both shoulders stay down as I reach my toes to my left hand, and then pull that right hip down and away from my chin. And then let's do it again. Bring it up, switch the hips, twist it down, just touch and come up, switch the hips, bring it down, come up. One more time, each side, switch the hips, lower down, touch, come back up, switch the hips, lower down, come back up, and just bring your hips to center. Now I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my right leg. I'm going to lower my left leg all the way down straight to the ground. I'm going to flex this right foot, and I'm going to push the thigh away from me. So it's not about getting the deepest hamstring stretch. This is actually to reset the hips and the sacrum if you have any low back issues. So I have a little arch in my low back here. Let's do the other leg. Interlace your fingers around the back of the left thigh, straighten out the right leg, flex the left foot, and then push the thigh away from you. So there's tension in my arms, a little arch in my low back. Woo. That feels lovely. All right, next. Oh, I see. Okay, so now coming back to our right leg, left leg long. Now we're going to go into our hamstring stretch. So I've got the big toe. You can loop a strap or a blanket, not a blanket, a towel maybe around your foot. So now I'm not pushing the leg away as much as I'm trying to pull it in. Although I've got a little bit of that pulling away happening at the same time. It's kind of a push-pull. And then keep your left hip grounded as you roll this right leg out to the side. So don't let your left hip pop up. You want to keep it down. And then we're going to come up and we're going to switch the grip. So my left hand's going to go to the outside edge of the right foot or hold on to whatever makeshift strap you have, and I'm going to twist this leg across my body until the foot touches the floor. And again, I want this hip to go away from my head, and I want the right shoulder on the ground. IT band. And then coming back up, let's bend the left knee, cross the right ankle, flex the right foot, reach through, pull the left knee in, but reach the tailbone away, so there's an arch in the low back. Reach the right knee away. Figure 4 pose. And release. Let's extend the right leg long and get our left foot into our hand or a towel or a strap. Get a nice stretch in the hamstrings here. And then we're going gonna open out to the side. I'm gonna keep this right hip down. Don't let it pop up. And then reaching that leg up, switching my hands, right hand to the outside edge of the foot or grabbing the strap or towel, rolling this leg all the way across the body till the foot touches the floor. Left hip goes down, away from my face. Left shoulder reaches to the floor. Bringing it back up. Coming to our figure four, I bend the right knee, cross the left ankle, flex the left foot, reach through, hug the knee in, and reach my tailbone away to get a little arch in my low back. Reach the left knee away. Releasing that, I'm going to turn myself. So we're going to go into a plow and then roll ourselves down. So my arms are going overhead, and then I'm going to roll back and try to touch my toes to my hands. Plow. So I'm up on my shoulder blades, and then I'm going to roll one vertebra at a time. And then just like we did before, back stays flat, ribs pull in. I'm going to lower my legs, last bit of core. When my feet touch, I'm going to curl up, reach up, sit tall, fold over those legs. Whew. All right, we're going to make our way to downward dog for one more stretch on each side. So I'm going to bring my right leg out to the right. So if my head is at 12 o'clock, my right leg is at 3 o'clock, my left leg is at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to lay down, and then I'm going to do cobra. And you should feel a stretch on the left side of your belly and a little bit of the inner thigh on the right leg. And then I'm going to lower down. My right hand's going to come forward. My left arm's going to reach through, and I'm going to roll. I need to scoot over a little bit so you can still see me. And I'm going to roll onto my back. Right leg comes up. Keep going, right leg all the way over. And then I'm going to come up to Bridget's cross. So now my right foot is at 9 o'clock, left foot is at 6 o'clock, head is at 12 o'clock. I want to keep the hips stacked and twist just my chest down to the floor. So I'm reaching my left hip back on top of my right. As my chest, I'm trying to face to the floor. And then I'm going to reach my right arm through to roll onto my back. And release. Let's bring the left leg up. I'm going to scoot over a little bit. And then I'm going to roll the left leg across my body all the way to my belly. So now left leg is at 9 o'clock, right leg is at 6, head is at 12, and I'm going to do cobra. And I feel this beautiful stretch on the right side of my belly. And then I'm going to come down a little. Left hand goes a little forward so I can reach my right arm through. Coming onto my back, my left leg is going to go across the sky to the outside edge of my left hip. Right foot is at 6 o'clock. Hips are stacked, and then just my chest twists down towards the mat. And then we're just going to lay down into our Shavasana. Any final stretches you would like, go ahead. I'm going to let my feet flop out, palms face up, tuck my shoulder blades underneath me, close the eyes, and just feel really heavy into the mat. And let go of my 3-part breath. Just breathe as naturally as my brain wants to breathe. I've got my ceiling fan on, so I'm just noticing the flow of air touching my skin. Just trying to really be present in my body without any muscular effort. Smooth out your forehead, release your jaw, let the back of the head get heavy in the mat. Let the floor hold you up. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. Turn your head side to side. Rotate your toes in towards each other, then flop them away from each other. Waking up the hips again. Zip your legs together, arms overhead, big stretch. Woo. Hug your knees in, give yourself a squeeze. Maybe rock side to side if that feels good on your back. And then if you're practicing in the morning, you're going to roll to your right side, the solar side. If you're practicing at night, roll to your left, the lunar side, getting you more ready for sleep. Pausing on that side. Press yourself up, comfortable seated position, eyes closed, hands at heart center. I hope that you enjoyed this sequence and that your spine feels fluid and flexible in all directions, and that we worked out a little bit of the rest of you as well. Have a wonderful day. Think of somebody who might need a little love and loving kindness. And send this energy out to them as we say namaste. My name is Shana, and I hope to post some more classes soon, so check out my other classes on this channel, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.